Dismissed from drama school with a note that read, "Wasting her time. She's too shy to put her best foot forward." Turned down by the Decca Recording Company, who said, "We don't like their sound, and guitar music is on the way out." A failed soldier, farmer, and real estate agent. At 38 years old, he went to work for his father as a handyman. Cut from the high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. A teacher told him he was too stupid to learn anything, and he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination and had no original ideas. His fiancée died, he failed in business twice, he had a nervous breakdown, and he was defeated in 8 elections. If you've never failed, you've never lived.
Hello, my name is William Couch. I would like to thank everyone for attending my session on Divergent organizational practices. This will definitely help those who have trouble with organization and motivation in the workplace or in your home office. Enjoy!
Organization. Start clean, finish clean. One of the most underrated office activities is dedicating some time to a clean desk. You should walk into your space and immediately be able to focus on the articles of importance without having to search much for them. Keep organizer trays, folders, and information for everything. Dedicate 20 minutes a day to putting things in their place and making notes for the next day. When you return the next day, you're reminded of your task simply by the way you've arranged your desk and the notes you've left. One inbox to rule them all. Every day I walk into my office and I see my coworkers flipping through piles, making phone calls, and shuffling documents and searching for paperwork. At my desk, I have an inbox, an outbox, and an urgent box. Things that I need to get done go on top of my inbox, and I take them off from the bottom and hand them in one at a time. When I'm done, they go in the outbox. Nothing could be more simple, and must-handle things have their own clearly defined spot. This can work very well on your desktop as well by creating folders. This helps and is a lot less chaotic than one big pile of documents, and a lot less time-consuming than filing away in multiple cabinets and stacks. Quick reference. For more important notes and documents, I have a vanilla file folders in a filing cabinet. My top drawer is full of stuff that I work on and work with regularly. I also keep a folder on my desktop as well. It is labeled Active. When I'm done with an activity, it immediately goes in the bottom drawer, Completed, or the Completed folder file. My top drawer is only ever about a quarter full, and I never have to hunt for anything that I need. No fancy colors or highlighting or source structure. I just put things I use often in a place that is easy to find. When I don't need them anymore, I put them away to avoid the clutter. If you're overworked, you're not working at all. If you find yourself constantly scrambling from place to place and working on multiple different projects at once, the multitasking you're doing is most likely destroying your productivity. Not only do you have to conceptualize and act on many different ideas that require different actions, you have to mentally schedule and divide your time between these actions, check deadlines, get feedback, and process the same information over and over again. Ask yourself, do I have time to separate these tasks and hammer them out one at a time? Are there recurring interruptions to my already busy day that I can delegate? Are these actions that I can consolidate? I am just tackling the mess, or am I taking the time to sort the mess into manageable pieces? The answer to these questions can be quite revealing. If you see your work as a mountain of things to chip away at instead of achievable small tasks, it's going to strain your productivity. You could use that time to sort your mountain and save time in the progress. This is the proper way to multitask. Errand time. When you have some away from desk errands to do, make a pile for them. When they start to pile up, or you need to do one immediately, go do them all. Nothing is more distracting than having to run around the office all day looking for supplies, forms, your boss, and the company Rolodex. Consolidating these tasks into one motion and save time and energy. Dedicate a day to it. You won't need a planner if every Monday is meeting day and every Thursday is deadline day. You already know that you're going to do those on those days. Simple, right? You'd be surprised how many people just try to handle everything as it comes in. Save time by associating days with important business habits. Utilizing these tips will make you effective in managing your workload at the workplace, whatever the workload might be. Organize your habits first, before you pick up your planner. Once things are running more smoothly according to these tips, you will be more efficient than you ever thought possible without constant tasks lists. Motivation. Find the good reasons. Anything you do, no matter how simple, has a number of good reasons behind it. Not all the tasks have the good reasons to do them seen at first sight. But if you take just a few moments to analyze them, you will easily spot something good. We also have many tasks which don't need any reasoning at all. We've been doing them for so long that they feel natural. But if you're either stuck with some task you hate and there seems to be no motivation to complete it whatsoever, here's what you need to do. Find your good reasons. They may not be obvious, but stay at it until you see some, as this will bring your motivation back and will help you finish your tasks. Some good ideas for a good reason can be a material reward, personal gain, a feeling of accomplishment, a step closer to the bigger goal. Make it fun. When it comes to motivation, attitude is everything. Different people have complete opposite feelings towards the same tasks. Some will hate it, others will love it. Why do you think this happens? It's simple. Some of us find ways to make any task interesting and fun to do. Take sports, for example. Visiting your local gym daily for a half-an-hour workout sounds rather boring to many of us. Yet others love this idea. They like exercising not only because they recognize the good reasons behind it, but simply because it's fun. At certain time in their daily schedule, they find going to the gym to be the best thing to do simply because nothing else will fit time and lifestyle so perfectly. Depending on how you look at it, you can have fun doing just about anything. Just look for ways of having fun and you'll find them. A simple approach is to start working on any task from asking yourself a few questions. How can I enjoy this task? What can I do to make this task fun for myself and possibly for others? How can I make this work the best for my day? Take a different approach. When something doesn't feel right, it's always a good time to take a moment and look at the whole task, looking for a different approach. You may be doing everything correctly and most efficiently, but such an approach isn't necessarily the most motivating one. Quite often, you can find a number of obvious tweaks to your current approach which will both change your experience and open up new possibilities. That's why saying, one way or another is so common. If you really want to accomplish your goal, there is always a way, and most likely there is more than one way. If a certain approach doesn't work for you, find another one, and keep trying until you find the one which will keep you both motivated and get the desired results. Some people think that trying a different approach means giving up. This is not the case. They take their pride in being really stubborn and refusing to try any other options on their way towards the goal. My opinion on this is that the power of focus is great, but you should be focusing on your goal and not limiting your options by focusing on just one way to accomplish it. Recognize your progress. Everything you may be working on can be easily split into smaller parts and stages. For most goals, it is quite natural to split the process of accomplishing them into smaller tasks and milestones. There are a few reasons behind doing this, and one of them is tracking your progress. We track our progress automatically with most activities, but to stay motivated, you need to recognize your progress, not merely track it. Here's how tracking and recognizing your progress is different. Tracking is merely taking a note of having reached a certain stage in your progress. Recognizing is taking time to look at the bigger picture and realize where exactly you are and how much more you have left to do. For example, if you're going to read a book, always start by going through the contents table. Getting familiar with chapter titles and memorizing their total number will make it easier for you to recognize your progress as you read. Confirming how many pages your book has before starting it is always a good idea. You see, reading any book, you will automatically looking at page numbers and chapter titles, but without knowing the total number of pages, this information will have little meaning. Somehow, it is a human nature to always want things to happen all at once. Even though we split complex tasks into smaller actions, we don't quite feel the satisfaction until all is done and the task is fully complete. For many scenarios, though, the task is so vast that such an approach will drain your motivation out of you long before you have a chance to reach your goal. That's why it is important to always take small steps and recognize the positive difference and progress made. Reward yourself. This is a trick everyone likes. Rewarding yourself is always pleasant. I'm happy to confirm that this is also one of the easiest, at the same time most powerful ways to stay motivated. Feeling down about something? Dread the idea of working on some tasks? Hate the whole idea of working? You're not alone in that, I'm telling you. Right from the beginning, agree on some deliverables which will justify yourself getting rewarded. As soon as you get one of the agreed results, take time to reward yourself in some way. For some tasks, just taking a break and relaxing for a few minutes will do. For others, you may want to get a fresh cup of coffee and even treat yourself to a dessert. For even bigger and more demanding tasks, you may want to reward yourself by doing something even more enjoyable, like going to the movies or taking a trip to someplace nice, or even buying yourself something. Your progress may not seem to others like anything worth celebrating, but take time to do it anyway. It is your task and your reward. So any ways to stay motivated are good. The more you reward yourself for honesty made progress, the more motivated you will feel about reaching new milestones, thus finally accomplishing your goal. Mix and match. Now that you have these 5 ways of staying motivated, it is a good moment to give you the key to them all. Mix and match. Pick one of the advices and apply it to your own situation. If it doesn't work, or if you simply want to get even more motivation, try another advice right away. Mix different approaches and match them to the task for best results. Just think about it. Finding good reasons to work on your task is bound to help you feel a bit better. Identifying ways to make it fun will help you enjoy your task even more. Finally, if you then plan a few points for easier tracking of your progress, and on top of that agree on rewarding yourself as you go, this will make you feel most motivated about anything you have to work through. Overcoming information overload. Information is merely a click, or more accurately, a Google search away. Depending on your query, there's likely at least a dozen, if not hundreds, of blogs on the topic, a similar number of books, and many more articles. This is a good thing. but it can also overburden our brains. As more and more people started using the web, information overload became a popular phrase to describe how we felt about going online. According to neuroscientists, the more accurate term is cognitive overload. That's because the brain can process vast amounts of information depending on the form in which it's presented. Let's take, for example, taking a walk exposes us to a slew of complex data, but our brains are able to process this information and our nervous systems get soothed. Contrast that with standing on the corner of Times Square in New York City. Our brain struggles to organize all the sensory data barreling its way, and our nervous system becomes overstimulated. Overcome it! Schedule breaks. Take a break away from your computer. This gives your brain a breather and helps you regain perspective. Plus, the quiet time can help you zero in on making a good decision. Also, it's been noted that watching cat videos can also help you. Set limits. Because the internet is available 24/7, you can consume information for hours. Limit how long you scan for information. Filter your sources. Focus only on high quality ones. Number 3. Keep your virtual and physical spaces clutter-free. Make sure your computer files and desk are clear, well organized, and ready to handle overflow. This is really important on your desktop as well as throughout the rest of your computer. Create files, organize them, and slow it all the way down so that everything is nice, organized, and readily available for you to find. Visualize your success. We have all heard that visualizing your goal will help you get there. But just recently, the entire visualization of success was shot down by researchers Heather Capps and Gabriel Ogden. They suggest to us that not only is positive visualization ineffective, it's counterproductive. During their course of 4 experiments, Capps and Ogden demonstrated that conjuring positive fantasies of success drains the energy out of ambition. When we imagine having reached what we want, our brains fall for the trick. Instead of mustering more energy to get there, we inadvertently trigger a relaxation response that mimics how we would feel if we'd actually reached the goal. Psychologically, we slide into our comfy shoes, blood pressure lowers, heart rate decreases, all is well in the success of the world of our mind's making. The research also uncovers that the more pressing the need to succeed, the more deflating positive The research also uncovers that the more pressing the need to succeed, the more deflating positive visualization becomes. One of the experiments tested whether water-deprived participants would experience an energy drain from visualizing a glass of icy cold water, and found that indeed, in even something so basic, the brain responds as if the goal has been reached. From a proof is the pudding standpoint, the research showed that participants told to visualize attaining goals throughout the course of the week ended up attaining far fewer goals than a control group told they could mull over the week's challenges any way they liked. The positive visualizers also self-reported feeling less energetic than the control group, and physiological tests supported their claim. So if not crafting positive fantasies of success, what might be a better use of our time and imagination? Capps and Ogden suggest we try critical visualization, in which realistic obstacles, setbacks, and other decidedly not so positive factors are considered. Even failure itself, in all its rawness, should be thrown in and dabbled with as a possible outcome. As odd as it sounds, this research suggests that even random daydreaming is less deflating than positive fantasizing. Ironically, shifting into positive fantasy mode is more effective when we need to decrease our energy expenditure, when, for example, anxiety is getting the better of us. In that case, the healthiest move is denying the fire more fuel. And it seems that positive visualization is a commendably effective tool for doing exactly that. Utilize. By a combination of mixing all of these techniques together and matching them up with other solutions, you will find that divergent organizational practices is just around the corner. Finalize. Start clean, finish clean in one inbox. Use organizer trays for your paperwork and folders on your desktop for optimum organization. Also, creating inbox, outbox, and urgent files on your desktop can also clean it up and add a more organizational workflow. Multitasking the correct way. Separate your task out if your current multitasking isn't working. This is very crucial, especially when setting up your classroom. You have a lot of different tasks to complete all at once, so taking it one step at a time might be best. Dedicate a day to it. Deciding certain days to set up classes, grade discussion posts, and final projects can be great, although pacing yourself is the key. Motivation. Take a different approach. If one way of doing things is not helping your workflow, try and try again. A different way, maybe. Alternating your variation can increase your motivation and help your overall workflow. Recognize your progress. Know your destination before you start. Split the work up into easy-to-handle sections rather than just tackling a project head-on. This will help you as you know where you can end. Reward yourself. Give yourself the much-needed rest if you've achieved a small or large goal. Congratulate yourself for achieving the small goals. Take a much-needed break after grading all your students' final project. Overcoming information overload. It is crucial that you schedule breaks. Take small breaks every couple hours, especially if you've just been staring at a computer screen all day. Your body needs the rest. Set limits. Set a certain amount of students for you would like to grade for the next hour. Keep a nice and steady pace of how many students that you can grade for each hour. Mix that in with small breaks, and it is possible for you to finish your grading actually very quickly. Visualize. Visualize your reality and possible outcomes of a situation. Don't just fantasize about the success. Think of possible failures and how you can fix these problems in the future. Unless you're stressed, then looking at only the positive can actually harm your productivity. So make sure to keep an open mind. Now that you've received all these techniques, only you can set your future. You have the techniques, so get out there and mix and match these unique set of traits to your workflow until you find the perfect combination for you. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.